For our third lecture, we're going to talk about speech anxiety, or the fear of getting up in front of someone and making a speech or a presentation. You know, this is something that a lot of people feel. Most of us who are doing this for the first time, or who really haven't done it very many times, we feel this fear, this anxiety. There are a number of ways that you can at least minimize it to where you're not going to feel it so strongly. You may never actually totally get rid of that fear of getting up in front of someone, but there are ways to minimize it and make you an effective speaker. Chapter 4 in the textbook lists a number of reasons why we feel this fear, this anxiety. First of all, it's just the fear of humiliation. There's the fear of making mistakes, the concern that the audience isn't going to be interested in what you have to say, and just the overall fear of failure. Now, there are other items the textbook lists, but I think these are the main four that haunt most people when they think about getting up in front of someone and speaking. So how do we overcome this? Well, first of all, don't procrastinate. Take some time, get your speech ready ahead of time so that you have time to make adjustments, make changes. Think of the pastor at a church. Usually he is not going to be delivering a sermon on Sunday morning that he created at 6 or 7 o'clock Sunday morning. Chances are he is going to take Monday before the Sunday, and he's going to start looking for topics and issues that he wants to talk about on Sunday morning. And then as Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday progress, he's going to be researching that topic and finding pieces of information that help to support what it is he wants to say. And he's going to be organizing that into a logical form, into an outline, getting his notes ready. And then as we get toward the weekend, Friday, Saturday, he's going to be practicing. He's going to be going over his notes. He's going to be making some last-minute changes and refinements. And he is going to practice, 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 so that when he gets into the pulpit on Sunday morning, he's going to be able to deliver a message that sounds like he's prepared and that he's done his homework. And chances are his feeling of rejection or fear of making a mistake or just fear of failing in front of the crowd or in front of the audience is just not going to be there. Or if it is, it will go away as he gets into the speech and realizes that he's done his homework. He knows this. He's going to be able to get through it without a problem. Know your audience. Again, when you're preparing your topic, when you are doing your work, if you want to overcome that fear that the audience won't want to hear what you have to say, know who it is you're listening to. If you're going to be talking, for example, to a group of engineers, don't go in planning to talk about something that has to do with let's say a football game, or something that a second grade class would be interested in knowing about. Talk about something that engineers want to know. That's why you want to know your audience. And select an appropriate topic that would fit that audience. Also, select a topic that you know and you understand, so that you can overcome that fear of making a mistake, because this is definitely something you have spent maybe most of your adult life studying or reading up on or keeping up with. It's something you know, and you can talk about this intelligently. That will help you overcome this problem of dealing with an uninterested audience. Be prepared. Like that pastor I was talking about, research your topic. Take the time. You may know this topic. You say you want to do an informative speech on how to repair a carburetor or how to bake a cake. Maybe something you've done your whole life. But take the time to do some research so you can get extra detail, so you can get things that will work with your experiences and help you craft a speech that is informative as well as entertaining, and also fills the time that you are needing to fill, and it will just help you all along to do a much better speech if you research that topic. Now, once you've gotten your topic researched, have an outline. have your outline with your open and your close and the main points and the sub points and the conclusion, so that you can logically progress through the speech. If you have it done this way, you will be able to keep your train of thought moving. Now, having said that, do not take a speech in that is written out word for word. And there are a number of reasons that you do not want a speech written out word for word. First of all, an extemporaneous speech is much more interesting to the audience than one that is read like a news story or like you're reading out of a book. You can change the speech. Say you're getting feedback from the audience as you're talking about a particular topic or issue, and the audience seems to be really responding to you. Maybe you have a little more information that you could add in there, another story that you could go along, that you could add into the speech at this point. If you have your speech written out and memorized, chances are you will not be able to do that as well. Let's say you've got your speech written out and you're going through it and you lose your train of thought, you lose your place. It may take you some time to go back through that speech and find where you were, and that could lead to an awkward pause. If you have it in outline form, you can glance down, see what your main thoughts are, and you can just pick up at the next point and move on. It's much easier to find your place in an outline as opposed to a 4 or 5 or 6 page speech. Another possibility, you have a speech written out, it's several pages long, and you drop them. And you pick them up and they're out of order. Now you're really lost, and again, awkward pause while you try to put it all back together. Work from an outline, not a printed speech. This also, with an outline, helps you to maintain eye contact with the audience. Remember, you want to try to keep about 90% eye contact. 90% of the time that you're in front of the audience, you want to be looking at your audience, not at your papers. If you're reading from a paper, you can't do that. If you have an outline to just help you remember your main thoughts, you'll be much more able to keep that eye contact that you need. And then practice, practice, practice. I cannot stress enough how much practice is going to be necessary. Get in front of a mirror and practice. Best of all, if you have a little video camera of some type, set it up and practice in front of that video camera. Practice looking at the lens. That's the same thing as looking into the eye of the audience. If you can do this and get through your speech in with a good pace, good flow, good eye contact, chances are you'll be successful, and you will have been practicing looking at your audience, and you'll feel much more at ease looking at your audience when you actually get behind the podium or start walking around and delivering your presentation. Know your introduction and conclusion cold. Now, like I say, work out of the outline through the body of the speech so that you can be extemporaneous, make some changes, take some things out as necessary, but know your introduction and know your conclusion. Remember, the best speakers know how they're going to start something, and they know how they're going to end. And there are a couple of reasons, especially on the conclusion, that you want to be able to do this. Let's say you do get lost. Maybe you take a little too much time with part one, with main point 1 and main point 2, and you need to get out and just drop main point 3. Fine. If you have your conclusion nailed, you have it cold, then you can just transition into the conclusion. You can get out on time, and it will look very smooth and very professional. Recreate the speech environment when possible. There are a number of ways to do this. First of all, as you're practicing, don't sit in a chair and practice. Stand up. Get in front of a mirror so that you can see your posture, so that you can see how you are doing. Again, videotape yourself. Practice yourself with your mannerisms, with all the things that you do. Don't just sit in a chair and do this. This is going to be more like the actual speech itself. If you get up, use your hands, walk around a little bit, look at that video camera, look in that mirror, and practice your speech. Also, if at all possible, get to the venue early where you're going to be speaking. Get up to the podium without the audience there and practice your speech a couple of times if you can. This will make you comfortable with the room, and it won't be quite so new the first time you get up there with an audience. Focus on the message. Don't focus on you. Think of it this way. If you think you're going to make a mistake, you start to, and you continually think about it, then you're going to be worrying about it even as you're delivering the speech. and then chances are you probably are going to hit a point where you will mess up. This is basically self-fulfilling prophecy coming through. You're telling yourself you're going to mess up, you will mess up. So think positive. Focus on the message, focus on the information you created, and that will help you to stay on track and get right through that speech. Look for positive support from your audience. Find several members of the audience who are paying attention to you. With your eye contact, focus on them. Look for positive feedback coming back from them. This will make you feel better and will help you to understand that maybe you are getting your message through, that you're not being humiliated, you're not making major mistakes, and this will prod you on. It will encourage you to do a better job and keep you on track. Get out and do this as many times as you can. I talked about practicing in front of the mirror. Another way to really overcome speech anxiety, the fear of speaking in front of people, is to get in front of people and speak. The more you do this, the more at ease you're going to become. The more you're going to realize the audience isn't there to try to humiliate you. Oh, there might be one or two people not paying attention, someone listening to their iPod, something like that. But for the most part, the more you are in there and the more you realize people are actually going to listen to you, then the easier it's going to be the next time, and the next time, and the next time. Practice, practice, practice in front of audiences as well as in front of the mirror is going to help you do a much better job. And then finally, when you do deliver your speech, you do a good job. Say it's just in this class. You get up, you deliver a great speech, the professor is happy with it, the other members of the class have positive things to say. Reward yourself. Have plan ahead of time that this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy myself a little gift. I'm going to go out to dinner. You're going to do something to reward yourself. A lot of things you can do to help yourself overcome speech anxiety. Number one is practice. Number two is be prepared. And number three, make it a positive experience and reward yourself when you're through. The next time out, chances are you'll feel positive, or at least more so, and you'll do a very good job, and it will continue to snowball until you're an effective public speaker.